Hello and welcome. My name is Freeze. We are about to embark on a journey together. So I ask that we all take a breath to ease this process on unraveling of remembering untethered. I can recall, though the memory is mind-bending, taking acid with my best friend Ananda and laughing like lunatics. My fanny pack wearing, bald head having dad dropped us off at the head of a short walking trail. The sun was a wildfire. The tab on my tongue tasted terrible. It made me jitter, it was so bitter. You know, the second it touches your tongue, there's no going back, said Ananda. I felt panicky, my heart pounded erratically. We walked through the woods, the twigs snapping under our toes, the evergreens, giants watching over us, whistling in the wind. At the pond, we stripped till there was nothing but the skin we popped out in and hopped in. The water was glad to greet me. It felt smooth and soothed my worry. A calm coursed through my body as I floated and flowed freely. Ananda was a penny flung from a thumb, front flipping with hair dripping. I saw her butt poke through the surface as she flipped over and plopped back below the blue. I laughed so hard my lungs ran out of air. I think I feel it, I said. Me too. We departed lightheartedly, dried the dancing drops off with a washcloth, and put our clothes back on our wobbly bodies. My skin felt like the shade after it rains. We sauntered through the woods the way we arrived, moving onward by retracing our stride. We placed a purple blanket down on a perfect patch of grass. The sun had grown tired of shining so hard. It had set a little, kissing everything with a glimmering golden hue. Ananda played the song Splash One by the psychedelic song creators called the 13th Floor Elevators. The lyrics leaped around our heads, and we listened lustfully. I've seen your face before, I've known you all my life. And though it's new, your image cuts me like a knife. And now I'm home. And now I'm home to stay. My throat cracked and crumbled like a biscuit with no butter. I cracked open a can of blissfully bubbly seltzer and swallowed the whole thing without stopping. I let out a barbaric burp that ricocheted off the river plum. We let out laughter so loud the gods could listen. My skin tickled and tingled as if each hair on my body contained its own consciousness. The grass was breathing blissfully as the wind passed through it tranquilly. I noticed all around me tiny bits of red among the green. A red leaf laying in the lee, a red flower peeking through the fallen bramble, the amber in Ananda's hair aglow in the evening aurora. I felt comfort in the color. I look back on that day fondly, though memories are finicky, because to remember is to shatter and then gather and then put back together. It's hard to know what's real, even harder to assign words to how we feel. So, I offer up a new one, a sort of hybrid infinitive idiom. Dream saute. Verb. Cook a meal or recipe from memory or from a dream. Remember the smell of sizzling bacon in the pan, seeping into a childhood bedroom and waking the child up while making breakfast as an adult. Dream sauteing. Verb. The act of slipping into a daydream while standing at the stove, of drifting into memory while slowly caramelizing onions. Dream saute. Noun. The sensation of stirring between memories experienced while asleep and awake, of rendering a surreal experience as reality, when the boundaries between lived and dreamed evaporate. To remember is to cook, if you think about it. You chop and stir and taste until the feeling can fit. It is to harvest moments from the past and combine them into something new. And just because the dish is invented doesn't make it any less true. It's no small feat being a chef. To feed yourself and others too, sustenance is what keeps us alive. What makes me, me, and you, you. To be a sensitive Caesar salad maker is to be afraid of needles, but to love sharp knives. To hate your own heartbeat beating erratically. To prefer the blade keeping the rhythm. A metronome. To be a sensitive Caesar salad maker is to fear making food that tastes bad, and to fear loving food that tastes too good. To get fat, 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 fat. To be a sensitive Caesar salad maker is to taste complex. Like umami, you live in the blissful convergence of salt and fat and acid and sweat and love and pain and pleasure and maybe a little sweetness sometimes. To be a sensitive Caesar salad maker, and a queer one at that, is to love gay sex after a good meal, but to really crave the caresses that come after. When hands aren't your own for just a moment. When hands that aren't your own for just a moment hold you and all that comes with you, even if you can't say how you're feeling, because to be a sensitive Caesar salad maker means you can't always say the sadness out loud, and the feelings are so heavy but so silly that you're the only one who can bear them. To be held is a gift. And to be a sensitive Caesar salad maker is to know that getting to be a sensitive and queer and cook is a gift too, a privilege to get to choose what foods and who you love and hate. To be afforded the option to ask for the dressing on the side because you can tell it came from a bottle. And still, the gift of being a sensitive Caesar salad maker is not enough to drown out the noise of your heartbeat, who's scared of running out of time, or being careless with the time it has, of leaving the chicken in the oven too long and overcooking the meat, of letting the juice drip out and dry out and turn into steam and disappear. Thank you for listening, though it's not always easy to be let into the fears and joys of others to be privy. But without your ears, my feelings would have no company. So, I extend my gratitude to you. From yours truly, Regie.